Since Ava was called out for her involvement with criminal artist Shadman and concerning conversations with underage individuals, some overly obsessed members of the audience have filled my comments with these baseless arguments about my video either souring with age or forming this bizarre theory in their head that I won't make a video on this situation due to the fact I criticized Sunny V2 for his terrible video about Ava in the past. Neither of these conclusions are true, and both are conclusions you could only come to if you didn't watch that video or any other video I've made in the past. But for those who need a reminder, my video criticized Sunny V2 for his conclusion that Ava's transition was going to be a quote nightmare for MrBeast. An entirely transphobic video that blames Ava for feeling the need to transition because it will be bad for MrBeast's brand, and insinuating that because Ava transitioned after her divorce, that she was abandoning her family for the transition and leaving her kid without a parent, despite the fact that her social media and much more infrequent appearances in MrBeast videos seem to be proof that she was spending what would seem like more time with her child than ever. Sunny would even change the title himself for this video. If that isn't an admission that the video had flaws, then nothing is. If you want to, give my video a watch, as it will speak for itself. But the truth is, that video was not at all related to or impacted by this situation, and is still just as bad as it ever was. That done, let's move on. Do you ever wish that you could switch off the sound around you and tune into something more meaningful? Well, now you can, with the sponsor of this video, Raycon and their everyday earbuds, which were recently upgraded to include active noise cancellation. I'm sure you've heard talk about Raycons before and had the thought cross your mind. So you're telling me these offer the same audio quality as the competitors, but at half the price? That sounds unbelievable. Well, with Raycons boasting that they sold over 3 million of their previous everyday earbuds, you don't have to wonder. They're a fan favorite. Not only do they offer an unbeatably competitive price point though, they also boast an insane 32 hours of battery life, and their new quick charge function means that for 10 minutes on charge, you'll get 90 minutes of battery life. With Raycon's everyday earbuds offering a wide selection of colors and cool protective cases too, they're also the best looking earbuds in the market. I recommend and use the everyday earbuds for editing videos, including during the editing of this integration. If you'd like to pick up a pair today, click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Harley to get 15% off your Raycon purchase, with free shipping included. Shadman is an infamous artist, a greater known and much more controversial individual than any other in the art sphere, and associated with a plethora of large creators across the entire spectrum, from anime YouTubers to commentary-turned-movie review channels like Elvis the Alien at various levels of severity. He is most known for his vile drawing of Keemstar's at-the-time 7-year-old daughter engaging in an act I cannot say in video with the former president and current candidate. This caught him large flack and was the turning point where he was outcast by most and a greater spotlight was placed on his website. This site, for decades, was for Shadman's drawn NSFW of characters across the spectrum, often skewing much younger, and was mentioned in a previous video on this channel when Shadman was arrested for allegedly assaulting an individual with a deadly weapon back in 2021. In the past month or so, give or take a few weeks, Ava was placed in the crosshair as a string of evidence came out against her. From past live streams to leaked Discord messages, evidence has shown her interest in Shadman's website and history of involvement with him that dates back over half a decade. One tweet from Ava would show her mentioning that she had a picture of Shad's art up on the wall in her living room, which would be linked to a screenshot found from a MrBeast video that showed the piece in question, which has since drawn heavy criticism towards Ava over its resemblance to underage NSFW of a fictional character, which is no surprise considering the material Shadman makes. But her history with Shadman would not end here, as old stream clips she posted herself on Twitter would show her accidentally pulling up Shadman's website on stream and then thanking him for having safe for work images on the front page for once. While other tweets from her would show her saying, "Please Shad, please," in response to Shad posting an image of a character which, in the image, was 11 years old, clearly implying that she would like Shad to create an NSFW art piece of this character. And leaked Discord messages from Ava seemed to show her stating that she would go to Shadman's website daily. Concerning. The truth is that most of this information has not been hidden at all across the years, and that it is only being discussed now because of the fact Ava's public transition drew so much negative attention that those people started to dig for evidence to get her in trouble. But due to that, so much more than just these public problems have come out, with inappropriate messages with real minors and fake messages from Ava alike drawing huge attention on Twitter. Focusing on what seems to be fake evidence first, an account on Twitter would share messages that they claimed were between an 18-year-old Ava and an anonymous 14-year-old. Within these were messages that the poster tried to argue showed Ava the minor, though they received criticism due to the fact that this DM conversation said it was from today above the messages, despite the fact that Ava's handle showed her name post-transition. If these messages were from several years ago as the poster claimed, then it would surely show their dead name. so these messages are unlikely to be real.
There are these screenshots and screen recordings of tweets that are going around that have a bunch of likes and views on Twitter. And I'm just going to share them here real quick. You can see, "We could play Fortnite. I beat you last time." This is the presumably 14-year-old who was talking to Ava, who was allegedly 18 at the time. And then, "You don't want anything expensive for your birthday? I could spoil you. I don't know. It's fine." These messages are just fake. These are just 100% fake Twitter messages. I don't know how so many people got tricked into believing them. It literally says "today" like on the screenshot with these messages, which is impossible, because how would the screenshot, even if the person, the kid or whatever were to have screenshotted it today, like 8 years ago, it says Ava Kris Tyson, and Ava did not transition until years later. So if this is from 2020 and Ava didn't transition until 2023, how is it possible that the screenshot exists and says today? The answer, because it's fucking fake. And it's even just fake by reading it. I mean, look at this shit. It's Ava going, "I love you. Oh, I meant I love playing Minecraft with you." Obviously fake, insane that people believe this. I think a lot of people honestly are people who might have just hated Ava and then trying to find a reason to hate Ava. There are valid reasons to do it, like the Shadman one, right? Like the Jeanette McCurdy thing. That is a valid reason. You don't have to make up. I think that's pretty fair. Don't make up to be mad at someone for when there's legitimate to be mad at them for.
Though the poster has since disputed this claim by stating that this is a common Twitter UI glitch, and the community note was removed from the post that claimed these messages were fake. Now, onto the conversations that seem to have more basis. The first of 3 victims to come out claimed to be a 14-year-old, who Ava was talking to on Snapchat and sending peculiar messages where she referred to them as, quote, "dad," sent them love hearts, and shared them secret messages with people like Delphine about her bathwater. This individual would remove all of this evidence from their account and claim that Ava's behavior was not an act of predation, but, quote, "edgy or otherwise disturbing behavior that had been taken out of context, but was irresponsible of Ava to engage in." An assessment that I would agree with based on the evidence shown so far, but that could change with further evidence. The second of the 3 who came out about their involvement with Ava had a similar experience, and they made a video about it where they said that Ava's behavior made them uncomfortable, that Ava shared NSFW with them and even allowed them to be in chats that had NSFW in it, and that this situation is not pleasant for them to recall.
Kris Tyson from MrBeast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Kris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for MrBeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join MrBeast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Kris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream. As well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Kris invited him after that, and Kris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Kris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds. Especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. and even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable. This server later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors. This is part 2 to yesterday's video of me talking about Ava Kris Tyson and what they did to me when I was 15 years old. This video has all the proof in it, all the receipts, and all the screenshots, thanks to an old friend of mine who was a moderator in Chris's Discord server at the time, Cookie. Now, Cookie actually went ahead and downloaded logs of all the individual channels on Chris's server before it went public, knowing that this was kind of being covered up, and he kept the logs of it for himself. He actually reached out to me here on Twitter, and I'm going to provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made that Lava refuted. For example, I made a claim that there was an NSFW channel in the server where Chris would spam corn. Here you can see Chris talking about locking down the NSFW channel to True Gods and Anointed only. By the way, this is in 2019. I was a True God and I was a minor. Not only that, but you can see me right below it, Nathan.rtx, saying this is a bad idea. So even I knew as a kid that this was a really bad idea. Here is Lava himself talking about starting the commencement of cleaning the server, word for word. I said he was talking about scrubbing the server. He says that never happened. Here you can see him talking about it, as well as me and Cookie himself talking about it. Ava Kris Tyson's Discord server leaks are getting dropped in a little less than an hour, but I have a couple screenshots that are going to be included in that I wanted to show you guys right now. Here we have Chris complaining about the hentai bot not sending gay hentai, and asking Lava if he's the one who did it. Now keep in mind, this server was scrubbed clean before it went public, and this is the result of after the great cleansing, as Lava called it. So there's not going to be an insane amount of evidence against Chris in these logs as much as there should have been, due to the fact that the great cleansing, in Lava's words, happened. He also says here that he wants a free NSFW channel, whatever that means. A lot of people have been saying I just don't know how to take a joke. Here's an example of something that I know was a joke, but is still wrong and not appropriate to be sending in a channel with minors in it. They say, just put my in NSW. Obviously it was a joke. They never did, to my knowledge. However, not a funny joke. Here we have Chris talking about how they finally locked down the NSFW channel to gods. However, I was a god and I was a minor at the time. So I'm not sure what the point of locking it down was if you're going to lock it down to a role that also has minors in it. Because Lava was in that role too. But then in the same message they say, or should I open it back up? And I'm like, I don't know where this confliction was coming from between leaving the NSFW channel open or closed. It's even to me at the time, it was pretty obvious to me that it should at least have the 18 and up warning on it. But these are 500,000 messages, so if you can help us go through all of them, post any screenshots of anything problematic you find, or anything that just kind of rubs you the wrong way, because we have not gone through even a small percentage of it. We're just getting it out to you guys as fast as we can.
The third of these individuals' experience with Ava was recorded in a YouTube video titled Ava Kris Tyson, quote, talked inappropriately with a 13-year-old by YouTuber Prism42. Within it, they show a long history of conversations between Ava and a user known as LavaGS, going back all the way to 2018, where she exhibited much of the same behavior discussed by prior individuals, but also met up with this individual, following their win of a CSGO knife giveaway by MrBeast. This individual would moderate for their private Discord and game servers, was sent some troubling Snapchat messages from Ava in a group chat with presumably MrBeast staff, which included a highlighted example of Ava captioning a video, quote, for America. To me, this seems more irresponsible than anything else. If you're aware that a minor is in a group chat with you, then think twice before posting stuff like this. And if you forget that they were present in the chat, then maybe you shouldn't be bringing 14-year-olds onto the team without boundaries and barriers in place from the start. The meetup in particular also drew some concern, but Lava would emphasize that they were there with their family the entire time, was 16 years old, was working while he was there, that nothing weird happened, and that this meeting was not at all concerning.
As far as the meetup, that's the final kind of hole in this story. Well, I asked Lava about it, and it wasn't as nefarious as some people make it out to be. Basically, Lava's family, this is from Lava directly, I talked to him, vacations in North Carolina and wanted to meet up to hang out with the people that he had been working for years. At this point, he was 16 years old, so he'd been working for the MrBeast team for like MrBeast Gaming for a couple of years at this point. So this is them in the RV. This is a picture that he gave me directly. Those feet down there are actually his dad's feet because he went with his family. So it wasn't weird in any way, shape, or form. He ended up working on a couple of MrBeast videos while he was there. I believe some Minecraft videos in the RV, but it was with his family. Nothing weird happened. It was totally just to hang out with the people that presumably he idolized, looked up to, and also worked for.
The individual has since also came out stating that they do not believe Ava them, but that it was more of the edgy behavior that others who spoke about Ava discussed. However, since more evidence came out, they have actually retracted this statement, saying, quote, "Based on the recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based on my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should not have happened with people at the age I was at the time. I strongly condemn them. I still believe I am not a victim of grooming, but these conversations should not have happened with me and any other minor in this Discord. I was a minor in this situation and not the adult influencer who should not have allowed this to happen. I did not see this as wrong at the time." The creator who made this video about the victim's story would also receive backlash, as it was claimed that they faked a job interview to ambush the person they claimed was a victim within their video, and attempted to contact both EDP and Chris Chan in the creation of this video. Some truly baffling and, to be frank, hilarious behavior. This claim would be reinforced by Ludwig, where he stated that he got a full list of the people they reached out to from another source.
He also sat on this story for 1 year.
Or a year went by, and still the information has not gotten out.
And the reason is because he wanted it to go out through a different source and said that he reached out to 50 plus people. This video is a nightmare watch, but he reached out to, and this is a real list, Charlie Kirk, EDP, Oompaville, Chris Hansen, Sam Hyde, and Chris Chan. Which is weird. Why would you reach out to EDP to be the one to drop the news on Ava having inappropriate conversations with someone? That's the wrong guy for the job. I mean, that's like being down 2 points and giving Slime the ball for the game-winning shot. It just doesn't make sense. That's not the guy that you pick. Prism apparently also stalked one of the people to try to get them to drop this story. Again, this is all from their video. You can watch it yourself.
And so with the Chris Chan thing, I took me and my business partner, and we went to Virginia. We drove halfway across the United States. We searched the Chesterfield Gateway homes because we believed he was there. That's where people speculated he was being held at. And we looked for Chris Chan. We did not see him there. It was a group home for mentally challenged people.
Dude, what the fuck? Just post the screenshots in like a 45-second YouTube short and that would get the job done. You don't have to do that. That doesn't. Why would you go to Chris Chan of all people? That's insane. That's a whole other story.
With most of these accusations, I think the biggest issue here is how common Ava's behavior seemed to be, and how she continued to place herself in conversations with much younger individuals that seemed to skew into more mature topics. It shouldn't need to be said, but that behavior, along with her history with Shad, does not paint a nice picture. Though I do acknowledge that a large portion of this behavior was a long time ago, and I would be open to a recorded response from Ava, where we would get a greater picture of her side and see her acknowledge fault where it is due. Upon the publication of these allegations, Ava made a statement where she would say the following, quote, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add I never anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations has vocally supported that they were false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who feel betrayed by how I used to act online. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at MrBeast, which is why I have stepped away." This response has seen large positive attention, but an even larger negative, with 50,000 likes and 15,000 quote retweets. Many saw her initial statement and came to the conclusion that she'd basically confessed that the evidence shown was all real, since she did not deny anything, and also criticized her for the wording of this apology. Quote, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone," reads not only like a PR response, but a cowardly way to dodge a more honest response that would show accountability, remorse, and regret for this behavior. And while her later tweets were made in what seemed like an effort to soften the blow, it doesn't seem to have been effective. Following this response, MrBeast himself would release a statement which would not only refute Ava's insinuation that her cutting ties from MrBeast was mutual, but also mention that he was bringing in a third party to investigate in preparation for further action. Quote, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any associations with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further action based on their findings." For MrBeast's image, though, it seems like this will continue to be a problem. With much more attention brought to this situation, screenshots have come out that are alleged to show MrBeast engaging with some of Ava's comments and servers as well. And an hour-long video was made that draws attention to a lot of the inconsistencies that could prove much of MrBeast's content to be fake. Whether these claims are true or not, though, may not even matter, as it's likely that the damage is already done. With that said, for now I will end this video and create a follow-up if more information comes to light that I think relevant to discuss. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think of the situation, and subscribe to the channel or check out my other social media if you'd like to stay in the loop. Peace.
But you won't ever let it go.